and welcome to #Live to Inspire.
If you can
Exactly.
definitely see how I was in the beginning and how I am now, I've learned to love myself. I can't leave my kids behind. But that is what inspired me to become a teacher. Learn to love people better. We know how to love ourselves better.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is your boy Lingus People Masego, and welcome to #Live to Inspire. These days, I brought exciting characters. I brought people that will excite you every time you watch my chill out sessions. So today, I'm joined by.
I am Miss Forbay. Actually, Savampi is my former student at HTS Karel de Wet, so we are going to bring the content today.
And vibes. You know the vibe, guys. So remember, please tell them to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, do the most actually.
Yes, number one, just make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that here at the bottom, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can stay up to date with the content that we are going to bring you on this channel. Please also stay tuned. This is not my last interview. There is more that's coming. There's more to come.
So, ma'am, let's just get into it. The question is about self-love. How do you keep it so constant when it comes to self-love?
You know what's funny? The irony of everything is that even before I came for this interview, I was like, people are going to say, but Ms. Forbay has changed over the years. If you can
Exactly.
definitely see how I was in the beginning and how I am now, I've learned to love myself. And I think it's definitely over time. It takes time for you to realize who you are and stop, associating yourself with other people. Stop comparing yourself with other people. Just be your natural self. Be you and be the best you. And I'm starting to be exactly just that.
But what about the people, ma'am, that close themselves inside and then they say, it's this, it's that. But ma'am, how do you take yourself out of that situation, especially when you're deep into it, comparing yourself to people and trying to saying, I will never reach amount to what I want to amount. How do you take yourself out of that?
It's very difficult. I'm speaking from myself as well, where I would constantly, the comparison with other people, with other people's progress, with other people's achievements, the way they look, the way they are on social media. If you're constantly feeding yourself this negative energy that is outside the community, you will constantly feel suppressed by yourself. You understand?
Yes, I understand
and it took me a while to get there. I would constantly compare myself look at this girl, her body is rocking, and here I come with my kabazels. What am I gonna do to
Right.
fix it?
I get you.
And even I was on a camp this week with the kids, and we were learning about love matters and sexuality and being happy, being free. And I remember everyone was so fixated on the fact that sexuality has to do with how sexy you are and sex appeal and everything like that. But they spoke about it's your mentality, is your brain sexy, is your body sexy, do you make yourself feel sexy? And it's a journey, babes. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. We need to get there. Eventually, you will get there, but it's not going to happen overnight. You need to constantly feed yourself positive energy. Always, you need to tell yourself, "I'm good enough." Stop the comparisons, especially social media. Stop comparing yourself. You're gonna get there.
But somehow social media is gonna
It
hurt us,
does.
man.
It does. Remember, I was even thinking, we were watching this video and we were talking about how social media affects the way we feel. Even myself recently, I remember one of my pictures that I posted, a random picture in the office that Mr. Morgan took for me, was hitting 700 likes, and I was like, oh my word, what was I doing? Was it the way I was sitting? Is it my smile?
You're going
What
reflective.
you reflect, how did this manage to get so many likes? And then you go back to a different post, and then the post only gets 200 likes, and you're like, what did I not do right this time? Did I not smile good enough? Did I not post sexy enough? What was it that caused my likes to go from there all the way down to there? And then you even tell yourself that I'm going to delete the post because maybe I didn't reach the population you want. But why do we cause that self-doubt in yourself? There is still 200 people that like that picture, that like that content that you posted. Why are you worried about the other 600 or 500 that you lost? You understand what I mean?
I get you, man.
Just be content with what you post, and it's gonna change one person's life in
Coming
jail.
to that, man,
Yeah.
I think, man, it's because of, man, if ever people could stop concerning themselves about likes and just post it and feel it and say, I love this
Yes,
picture. Let me just post it
absolutely.
and enjoy it. If people like it, they like it. If they don't,
They don't.
let's move on. Hey,
Yes, we
there's more
move.
pictures to come and to
Yes.
enjoy. There's more 100 to come. More. So
Exactly.
that's what I'm saying. You have to feel everything you do. You understand? You have to feel yourself. Even when you wake up in the morning, just say, "Hey, this is my day. Let's enjoy it." You
And you
understand?
have to do that, Savimpi. I actually realized that I have to sit in front of the mirror and tell myself every morning, "Ma umuhle man. Yeah, oh sexy. You are hot like a bomb, you know?" And you walk out with that confidence if it's in yourself, even despite what people tell you. When are you going to walk out there feeling like the bomb you are? You know,
Exactly.
you bring the heat. And whatever everyone else says doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. We should just let it be water off your back. It's just the way it is, man.
It is what it is.
It is what it
You
is.
can't change it that way. So, man, one thing I'll tell to say, man, what do you inspire the kids to do, especially a teacher? Man, let me start with the first question. What made you to love teaching?
You know, and the irony of it all, the irony is that before I even became a teacher, I wanted to become a firefighter. And I always tell the kids this in the class, and I'm like, oh, realistically, this Dudu Zile trying to run upstairs, by the time I try to save someone's life, they've already burned to the crust. But I took a gap year after studying. And I went to go and do volunteer work at one of our church youth centers, which is Bosco Youth Center. And there they normally mediate and they mentor kids and whatnot. And that's where I found myself loving kids. Like I genuinely loved kids. And every time I would see that group of learners leaving after their camp, I would sob. And I was like, but I keep building relationship with these kids and I watch them leave. And that whole year, I kept having this thing in my mind that, but I think I am called. Not even I need to make a choice. I am called to be a teacher. And I went to study teaching for 4 years. And eventually, during my practicals as well, I realized, but I love kids, man. I love these learners. And I don't love them as learners. I love them as my kids, like they are my children. And that just eventually went sky high. I looked.
It's a calling.
I never looked back. I can't. I even say that. Funny enough, I always think, let me go into the private sector. Let me try and work at the district and work in the office. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm leaving my babies behind. I can't leave my kids behind. But that is what inspired me to become a teacher. Is the fact that I just realized I love children. I love children too much. I'm their mother.
It's how it is.
It is how it
Like
is.
you can't change it. The
I
thing is,
can't.
people are trying to change it. They're trying to change. It's a calling, man. That's one
It's a
thing.
calling.
And you inspire the kids, man. So what's inspiring with those kids? What do you say to them to motivate them? And you say self-love, coming to their dreams, and how do you motivate them and take outlash and outgo their dreams?
Yeah,
actually?
the thing is, every single year, I must admit that you come across different learners with different challenges. Every single year. I mean, I've been in this teaching career now for 8 years. And every single year, you meet a different group that is bound by something. Whether it's self-love, self-esteem issues, whether it is parental issues where parents are divorced, or there's problems in the household, or, that there's abusive father, absent parents. Every single year, there's something that comes up with these kids. And the funny part is I'm fortunate enough to be an English teacher where I feel like even the books that I teaches you something. If you think about Things Fall Apart, for example, Okonko trying to be so much not like his dad, like he does not, he resents his dad, but it ultimately led to his downfall. And we try so hard to not be like someone that we don't realize that we're being self-detriment to ourselves. Like, we need to learn to just be us and the best version of ourselves. In class also, we'll dwell off a topic. I mean, now I should be teaching poetry, Somewhere I Never Travel, love poems. And we just find ourselves talking about relationships that we have with each other, love, romantic relationships that we have with each other. And we talk and discuss these matters to try and just discuss it, because I mean, sometimes they can't go home and have these discussions with their parents. They can't have fruitful discussions with their friends, because all we are told by our friends, especially males, is that smash, we need to smash, like get that girl and smash because she's hot. But in the classroom, we talk about the value of a woman. Like, you need to love that woman. That woman is going to be someone else's wife one day. And you also don't want other guys coming and hurting your future wife.
And the mother of your children.
In the mother of your children, you understand, and the reputation that she builds for yourself. So just try and Just try and be
Yourself.
a better person. Don't be what is out there. Be the best you can be. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Don't say I don't want to be like my dad or my mom. The more you try not to be like that person, the more you're going to end up killing yourself, because you're not being you. If you know you want to be a good lover, a good friend, a good partner, a good whatever you want to be the best version of that.
Nobody's perfect, man. That's the first
Yeah.
thing of all. And people try to run away from themselves because they're trying to give a good picture, good print out, like Instagram. Instagram is Instagram, man. But real life is real life.
Yeah.
You only live once, man. And some people don't get it even up to now, man. So I wanted to understand, man, good. Why are so much people so focused on being perfect rather than being the best version of themselves? Maybe you can tell me.
Because it's what they feed you out there. You know, it's like, let's say, for example, how many of us here, and I know you're all going to relate with me, where we take 100 pictures looking for that perfect self,
One.
that one
Yeah.
out of the 100 that you, or you can take 50 of them and then later on realize, but I don't like any of these pictures I took. Because you want to make sure that that perfect selfie that you took is the perfect one, and everyone must like it. You're not going to show there. I've never, guys, seen someone post a picture and say, I woke up like this, and show how crusty you look like. Like, I want to see that. Like, I'm challenging everyone to do that challenge. Wake up in the morning and show us how crusty you are, and just let us love it. Show us how you
It's
look
really
like unfiltered. It's hard though. It's
Unfiltered, man. Man.
Yeah.
It's a fingerprint that they'll say, I mean, we need an iPhone to take those type of pictures,
Yeah,
the crusty
you
pictures,
know.
so that it can hide everything, so it can take out the perfect one, man.
Look, I do the same. I put filters, sometimes, and I'm like, I'm seeing here is little, this double chin, and then I'll take a picture. I put it in black and white, not to show the flaw that's there. Yes, there's definitely all of, and I mean, look at that. Phones are created to put filters now. We use Face app. We use all these different modes on our phone to just take away our imperfections.
Exactly.
And then you go and meet someone, they go grooving, and then they're like, Mara, this that I see here is not what I saw
No.
in the picture. It's like, game over,
It's like that, man. You cannot change it, man. What do they call it again?
Huh?
Like when someone is not what you see in reality, is it?
They call it
I forget the real name of it, man.
catfish.
Catfish.
Catfishing someone.
Exactly, man. Like even though you don't it's just catfish on its own, man.
Yeah.
But that's how life is, man.
That's how life is. It's difficult, like I said. It takes time. It takes time to have that self-acceptance, and just post that picture where you look crusty. But like I said, at the end of the day, if you don't get all the reactions that you expect, you must at least know. You must know. I did my best.
That's
I
all.
put it. That's just, you must give yourself the self-praise at the end of the day. It shouldn't affect you so much.
Man. Wow, I'm getting you right now, man.
Yeah.
So let me just go, man. So what's your words out there, man? Like, what's your humonia, man? What's your, like, for yourself? Despite people, they want to hear you, man. Like, what do you say for yourself? Okay, I'm Miss Forbay. There's this.
You know what, guys? Like myself also, I'm a work in progress. Now recently, I can talk on and on about my life, because I still there's 29 chapters to my life that's going to happen now on the 6th of August on my birthday.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Please invite us.
We're waiting for the 30th. We'll have a serious group.
Oh.
But I think what I want to say to people ultimately is that it took me a very long time to figure out who Shané Gabriella Forbay is. Like, who is this person, because of your background. And you build your identity on who you really are. And I'm only dealing, for the first time in such a long time, I'm only dealing now with my chapter 1. And my chapter 1 was my father's death when I was a year old. And my dad actually committed suicide, And I wanted to know what was the cause of my father committing suicide? What made him so sad? What made him give up so easily? And it was recently his unveiling. We unveiled his tombstone. And I remember crying the day before, profusely crying, because I had to go and open up wounds that I put plasters on, but I realized it was still bleeding, because my father's death and his separation from me still left me wounded, made me feel like I need to view my life and the men that I choose, and I would always blame my failed relationships on, I never had that father figure that could be there for me when I was a child. And every time a man hurts me, you want your father to come up and say, you know what, it's how sharper, and my dad wasn't there for that. And Yes, I have a stepdad now, but I can't even call him my stepdad because he's amazing. But he also had to learn how to take in another child, and it's only now that me and my father's relationship is starting to become better. But I'm dealing with chapter one. I need to close chapter one. I need to make sure that I close that chapter so that I can learn to stop blaming my misfortune and with relationships on having an absent father, because there is another man that came into my life that came to fill that void and is trying to be a good dad for me now. So like I said, work in progress. I don't want to give too much content because I'm going to definitely come and give more. There is probably 29 episodes.
Last question
waiting.
before you go. Now you're closing them. So the question is, when it comes to the suicide one, we'll come back to
Yes,
ask that one.
definitely.
But then can I just ask a question because it's based on me?
Yes.
Ma'am, I grew up without a father, ma'am. My father's alive, by the way. And funny how, ma'am, when it comes to relationship wise, I'm not very good. Even up to today, I'm not very good, ma'am. I don't know, is it because of me or is it because of like I have to change who I am? Or is it because of now I don't understand how to take care of a woman? I don't know, but I will do my best. But I think I would think my best, not good enough, ma'am. So, man, I don't know, ma'am. You tell me, man, because maybe you know a glimpse of me, so I don't know, man.
Besides I think ultimately, let's just put it out there. It's also what someone said this week. How many times are we faced with what people say out there? We get this post every time where woman is like, Ndota must, men are trash, men are dogs. And this is the way we are viewing men. And men sometimes put this in the back of their mind to say that I'm trash, I'm a dog, I am daughter must, this is the certain things that I need to do. And then at the end of the day, you don't really know what person you're supposed to be. You understand? Yes, you didn't have your influence of your dad, for example, that's there. These men that go and buy soap and never come back. I don't know at which
We shop. I get you, man. I get you, man.
And sometimes that soap will make them slip back into our lives later on eventually. But at the end of the day, you know what, Savampi, I feel like you keep trying, man. You keep trying with love. I think that sometimes we must stop punishing ourselves to say that, what did I do wrong in the relationship? As long as you give your best. There's a lot of things. I mean, I taught you before, and I know during school time you had a lot of issues with your self-confidence. And I even used to tell you, Savampi, woo, you don't understand dark coffee, guys. Like, Savampi doesn't understand how we like the coffee black, sometimes with no sugar.
Wow.
I even told you, like, don't base it on what other people see. It's about you. If you feel good about yourself, if you are as handsome as you are, if you have everything that you have going for yourself, love the person the best way you know how. If they decide that they're going to walk out of that relationship, you gave your best, you gave your 100%. And like I said, now you're still young. We expect, and I mean, can you imagine yourself sitting here now saying that tomorrow I'm going to get married? No, you're not there yet. You understand? You're still trying to develop that relationship and learn through relationships with people how to be a better man. And eventually it's going to be there, and you're going to not perfect. I don't think all of us can perfect love, but we learn to love people better. We know how to love ourselves better. And now the other day I said on one of my posts, love is a decision. You can't choose for someone to love you. You can't force someone to love you. Someone decides if they want to love you. So if you make a decision in your life to say that I'm going to love this person, and that person is not fully invested into loving you, it's not your fault. You decided to love that person, and that person will eventually come along. Here.
Ma'am, we have to end the video because it has to be short.
Yes,
definitely,
no problem.
I hope, ma'am, you come back again.
Definitely.
And ma'am, please, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for doing the most of taking even this rain. You have
No
maybe
problem.
you have appointments. I don't know. You know what I mean. So, ma'am, please tell them to subscribe, like.
Yes, definitely, guys. Please make sure that you hit the notification button. Make sure that you please tap on that subscribe button. Make sure that we have the subscriptions that's needed. Like I said, there is definitely more content to come. It's not only about teachers. We learn about sports. We learn about charmer boys. We learn about the lifestyle. Also, in the description below, I'm going to tell Savampi to make sure that he gets his merchandise. As you can see, we are living to inspire. Get it down there. We'll finally have that website. Please buy the merch so that we can make sure that he continues to make people live and to inspire, so that we can get that merch. And then also, if there's anything that you want to know about my life, you can also get these. Comment. Find me on Facebook. It's Shané Forbay. Instagram, it's Shané Forbay as well. We keep it that way. And I'm on TikTok at callme_Forbes. We always.
Why not Shané Forbay this time?
Because at least I could get the
No,
Forbes.
no, it's a Shané, and then out of the blue you got this side, man. It's like you say, I love you. Maybe.
Yeah, and it was the only place where they gave me the Forbes. So yes, make sure that you're on the Forbes list, man. Get yourself on the Forbes list. Okay, guys.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much.
See you next time.
On the flip side.